The CBS 58 Morning News starts now.
Breaking news this morning, right now on the south side, fire crews, you see them right here battling this apartment fire. Now we have a crew on the scene, as you can see, working to bring you information, and we will bring you a report live in just a few moments.
Also new this morning, the votes are in. The United Kingdom is staying together. Details on the historic referendum are just minutes away.
Congress approves a White House plan to arm and train Syrian rebels to take on ISIS. I'm Susan McGinnis in Washington. I'll explain coming up.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, September 19th. I'm Jessica Ty.
And I'm Nate Custer. We've been working overnight to bring you these top stories this morning. And students say UWM police warning women to watch their drinks. The cause for alarm just ahead.
Plus, more questions and answers this morning as authorities are still looking for a missing boater on Lake Michigan and a missing fisherman in Kenosha County. The latest on both investigations coming up.
And time now is 4:31, and on the ones we give you that weather forecast so you can get the information you need before you head out the door this morning. Meteorologist Lance Hill watching the radar and watching the skies for us this morning.
Yes, indeed, on this Friday morning. Good morning, everybody. 4:31 indeed our time. We're right now checking in on those temperatures at 50 degrees in Waukesha, Burlington, to 48 in West Bend, and also Sheboygan. The cool spots, but still almost 60 in Racine, so relatively mild compared to where we've been most of this week. But we do also have some fog developing, and it is dense in some spots like Burlington, visibility down to 0, half mile in Watertown, also in Beaver Dam, to a little over 2.5 miles, it looks like, in Waukesha. In fact, let's get a live look right now out in Waukesha, where, not seeing a whole lot here as we do have some fog. 52 should be our temperature around 8 a.m. By noon, temperatures at least 65 degrees and warming into the 70s later on this afternoon with sunny to partly cloudy skies. A decent day on the way once we burn away some of that fog, and then we're tracking storms for the weekend. I'll be back with that coming up with your complete forecast. Jessica, Nate, we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Lance. We are covering breaking news right now. A big apartment fire on Milwaukee's south side.
And CBS 58's Matt Doyle is live there at the scene near 23rd and Mineral. And Matt, what can you see right now?
Well, we're here on the scene right now. We're near 24th and Mineral on the south side. You can still see there's some active flames up on the top of this building that they're working to get out. Now, what we can see from our vantage point here on 24th Street is that this is the Lau Family Community Incorporated. Now, one person I just spoke to moments ago said that the fire started a little bit ago and the fire department has been on the scene fighting this for a while. They said it started pretty quickly and overtook the building. Now, right now they're working on looks like the roof area as well as some of the side upper windows of this building right now. Now, the sign, which you're closest to, says it's the Lau Family Community Incorporated. We're going to keep checking into this and figure out what exactly is going on here, but we do know that there's a lot of fire trucks in the area. There's heavy smoke coming out. If you're driving on National Avenue, you can see the smoke billowing over National Avenue since we're just a little bit south. But we'll be on scene throughout the morning and bring you updates as we get them. Reporting live on Milwaukee's south side, Matt Doyle, CBS 58 News.
Thank you so much for that breaking news update, Matt. 4:33 right now. Disturbing allegations this morning against a fraternity on the campus of UWM. Police are looking into whether members of TEAC slipped date rape drugs into some of the drinks at a wild party last weekend.
And students say police are warning women this morning to watch their drinks. No one came to the door at the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity or TEAC house last night, but lights did go out upstairs when we knocked. Police say several girls who attended a party there last weekend were later unable to walk or stand, and 2 wound up in the hospital. One student we talked with didn't want to appear on camera, but she actually saw one of the girls from the party being tended to by police at Sandberg Hall.
One of my friends brought her back, like he was just being a good guy, and like brought her back because all these dudes were like hitting on her, like making out with her, and she was seemingly like really wasted.
And even more disturbing, another student we talked with says the date rape drug or roofies have become such a problem on campus that UWM police have put out the word warning female students to watch their drinks and stay away from the fraternity parties altogether.
My roommate, her cousin is a cop, and she said she texted my roommate the other day not to go into these frat parties anymore because this has been happening a lot lately, and it's, it's scary. It's not a good thing.
In a statement released on Twitter, UWM says the Teak fraternity has now been suspended on an interim basis while police conduct their investigation. The statement goes on to say the safety of our students is our #1 priority. Our police are aggressively pursuing this investigation to determine what happened and who may have been involved.
And the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity also came under scrutiny last spring when police investigated a number of alleged sexual assaults there, but no charges were ever filed.
Breaking news overnight, the votes are in. The Scots have decided to stay in the United Kingdom.
Yes, 25.
They were excited, cheering. Voters turned out in big numbers. Those on the no side warned without the UK, Scotland's economy was in danger. But pro-independence voters pointed to the country's oil reserves as proof that Scotland could have stood on its own. We talked to people here in the Milwaukee area who are of Scottish and Irish descent.
I really thought it was going to go through. I really did. I thought with the younger voters wanting to succeed.
So I hope that it'll be better for Scotland either way, I would say, and make them think about their future.
A vote for independence would have triggered 18 months of negotiations and how the two countries would have split apart.
Supporters of Dontre Hamilton, a man shot 14 times by a Milwaukee police officer, showed strength in numbers at last night's special meeting. Demonstrators took the podium to deliver a list of demands, and Hamilton's brother revealed who shot him at Red Arrow Park.
I can say his name since I know his name, right, Chief Flynn?
CBS 58 has chosen not to reveal the name of that officer since Chief Ed Flynn has not made the information public. The officer is still on desk duty. However, demonstrators want him off the force.
Hamilton was shot by the police officer after allegedly grabbing his baton and striking him. District Attorney John Chisholm recently asked for a second outside investigation before making a decision about charges. Demonstrators also expressed their desire to have Milwaukee police officers wear body cameras. Chief Flynn says the department is on track to get 50 cameras as part of a pilot program.
And 4:37 now. This morning, a local boater is nowhere to be found still after leaving the Milwaukee Harbor in his sailboat on Tuesday. The Coast Guard ended their search for Joseph Keim after more than 60 hours of looking. And officials share what to look out for near Lake Michigan. CBS 58's John Coco reports.
Keim's sailboat, the Wild Irish, was towed into the Coast Guard station Thursday afternoon. It was spotted about 10 miles offshore at around 12:45 by the Lake Express, with no sign of its owner.
The boat was basically in excellent condition, stored, sails were furled and stowed. The engine was in the off position and has a full tank of fuel on board.
Keim was last seen Tuesday evening, boarding his boat in McKinley Marina, with no known destination, according to the Coast Guard.
We've also received assistance from a variety of law enforcement agencies through the 4 states around Lake Michigan to help narrow down and make inquiries on where to look for Mr. Keim.
That search then changed, with the Wild Irish being found. Instead of a 26-foot sailboat, they're on the lookout for something much smaller.
We're looking for an object on the surface. That object would be the person. Depending on if he's wearing a life jacket or not, is how far he's up and out of the water. So we're looking for basically head up.
Leading to the question on everyone's mind: how long could he actually survive out on the lake?
The factors being the person's health, whether or not he's wearing a life jacket, height and build, clothes on him. But as we know, the water temperature is low 60s for his height and build type. We're looking at approximately 10 hours.
John Coco, CBS 58 News.
And the Coast Guard is obviously far beyond that number now. They're asking anyone with information on Keim to contact them.
Meanwhile, a search continues on a much smaller lake. Deputies, the DNR, and local fire departments in Kenosha County are combing Silver Lake for 66-year-old John Spoor. The Illinois man was reported missing Tuesday after going fishing. Crews have been using sonar and cadaver dogs during their search, but there is still no sign of him.
4:39 now. Milwaukee's Irish community marked the halfway point to St. Patrick's Day with an Irish stew competition. CBS 58's Michelle McCormack reports on the cause behind all the fun.
What can I say? Another delightful event as Milwaukee's Irish community gathered to help people in our community.
Best stew in town.
Right here. On this night at the Turner Hall Ballroom in downtown Milwaukee, it was the first ever Taste of Ireland, organized by the Ancient Order of Hibernians.
Wanted to make more money for the schools we're supporting.
They do a great job of really helping out the community and really carrying forward the Catholic Irish tradition in our cities.
Chefs were gathered from all over the region with a very serious panel of judges to determine the best Irish stew.
I'm pleased to be here with the speaker, and it shows bipartisan support on these issues. We both are very supportive of the Irish community.
Would you second that speaker?
I would, yeah. Great event for Catholic schools and a wonderful crowd.
I had the thrill of a lifetime, meeting a long-lost friend from my father's native Sligo, Republic of Ireland. We all made a promise to gather for the next Blue Mound Parade on St. Patrick's Day. You see, the AOH is the organization that puts the march together. It's their attempt to continually try and rid Irish and Irish Americans of the unfavorable stereotypes and instead focus on the charity.
Hibernians have been so generous and kind to our school, and to have this amazing crowd here tonight to just be celebratory and festive just means so much to the students that we serve.
The Milwaukee Irish, where charity and fun go hand in hand. Michelle McCormack, CBS 58 News.
Isn't that the truth? I love those dancers.
Oh, absolutely. Michelle McCormack, intensely proud of her Irish heritage and enjoying all the events right there and showing us exactly what was in store. You know, I go for a good bowl of stew. It's been cold enough to enjoy stew, I think, these days here recently.
You mentioned the dancers. I'm just amazed, though, at how they're always able to get their hair just so perfectly curly like that. It's all, they're all the same. And I'm kidding, because obviously they're...
So, you're talking about the wigs, but back in the day, they actually did the curls.
They actually did that. Yeah.
So...
Come a long way.
Time now is
I'm sure moms are happy for wigs.
It's 4:41.
Yes, I think
We're making sure we got your weather covered here with meteorologist Lance Hill.
All right, everybody, here's a live look outside for you right now. So we do have a little patchy fog across the area. And yeah, a bowl of stew on a cool morning, not a bad idea at all. Although today we're going to get a nice warm up. That's kind of the headline in our forecast, as we're talking 70s back into the forecast and maybe some storms heading into the weekend. We'll track that for you. Coming up in just a minute, 57 degrees. Our current temperature right now out at Mitchell International. Other temperatures here mainly in the low 50s inland away from the lake shore, although upper 40s West Bend and Sheboygan. But look at this, almost 60 for you right now in Racine and 55 in Kenosha. We're also dealing with a little bit of fog that I think will continue to develop as we go through the very early morning hours. So in some areas, only a half-mile visibility, Beaver Dam and Watertown, down to Burlington, 2.5-mile in Waukesha, and in Milwaukee right now, 4-mile visibility. So that's not an issue, but some of those low-lying areas where that cool air tends to settle, like Burlington and that Fox River Valley, that's where we're seeing some issues with fog. Now, we do have on our satellite radar combination some showers across northern Minnesota. Those are going to stay up there. These are high, thin clouds. We'll see those from time to time today. After that fog burns away this morning, here's our precision forecast model. Look at this becoming sunny as we go through the morning hours, and we should stay mostly sunny into most of the afternoon. Here are, as of 4 o'clock, we'll start to see some higher clouds begin to stream in. And then, as we go through the overnight hours tonight, if you have Friday night football plans, it's going to be just fine. After midnight, we'll start to see a first round of some scattered showers or thunder showers moving through the area. And then a cool front's going to get caught up kind of close by us tomorrow, and that will give us at least the chance for an isolated or widely scattered thunderstorm tomorrow as well. So enjoy some 70s today, much warmer than yesterday and more sunshine as well. 76 then tomorrow at least, some locations near 80, and then into Sunday, partly cloudy, 70 your high temperature, 65 on Monday. Look at the sunshine going through next week. I'll let you know if that continues into next weekend as we check the 10-day forecast coming up at 4:51.
All right, well, thank you very much, Lance. Time right now is approaching 4:44. Time for our Pump Patrol. Our daily search for the lowest local gas prices. The lowest price this morning is $3.29 at Good Hope Mart off 76th and Good Hope in Milwaukee. $3.35 at Paul's Gas off Layton and Loomis in Greenfield, and $3.35 as well at the BP off 108th and Edgerton in Hales Corners. For a complete list, go to our website, cbs58.com, and click on Pump Patrol. If you spot a deal, send us an email.
4:44 right now. 2 adults and 6 children are dead this morning in what police say is a murder-suicide in North Florida.
The heartbreaking story is just ahead.
Also coming up, should you be getting your kids the flu shot or the mist? New guidelines are out this morning. What you need to know coming up at 5.
And we are following breaking news at this time. This is a live look right now. Look at those flames, very intense right now for a 2-alarm fire on the city's south side at 24th and Mineral. Our Matt Doyle is live on the scene with more information as firefighters work to contain this blaze. Again, that is breaking news happening right now. You're watching CBS 58 Morning News.
The Senate has now cleared the way for the president's implementation of a key part of his plan to defeat ISIS.
And it comes as the group releases another video showing yet another hostage. Susan McGinnis has that story.
Plans to tackle ISIS militants on the ground in Syria are now taking shape. Yesterday, the Senate followed the House and voted to give the president the authority to train and equip moderate Syrian rebels.
The strong bipartisan support in Congress for this new training effort shows the world that Americans are united in confronting the threat from ISIL.
But some members of Congress are expressing doubts that this is the right plan.
I'm against one part of the plan. That's basically going over, taking our people, our special people, into Syria, training them, spending $500 million, and taking sides again in a civil war.
Even some lawmakers who voted yes think President Obama needs to do more to defeat ISIS. But the president has reiterated American combat troops will not be needed.
He's in a public disagreement and argument with his own generals who say that you can't take troops off the table.
The U.S. is continuing airstrikes against ISIS in Iraq, and the president says international partners are stepping up.
France will join in strikes against ISIL targets in Iraq.
As the world ramps up its efforts to take on the terror group, ISIS continues its propaganda campaign, releasing yet another video, this time showing British journalist John Cantley being held captive. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
In Australia, authorities have now charged 2 suspects in connection with a foiled ISIS terror plot. The plan was to publicly behead an Australian citizen at random.
And authorities in northern Florida are trying to figure out why a man killed his daughter and his 6 grandchildren before turning the gun on himself. It happened at a home 80 miles southwest of Jacksonville, and police arrived on the scene after receiving a 911 call from the suspect, 51-year-old Don Spirit. They say Spirit had a criminal history. As 10 wildfires blaze in California, a man stands accused of starting the largest one of those. Take a look at the smoke and flames of the King Fire. So far, it's scorched more than 70,000 acres almost uncontrollably. Wayne Huntsman now faces 1 felony count of arson. Now, this charge comes with a special allegation that the fire caused great bodily injury to a firefighter, peace officer, or other emergency personnel. Huntsman is being held on $10 million bail, and the price tag of this fire, an official says it's costing $5 million a day to fight it.
Wow. 4:49 right now. Beyonce and Jay-Z have a big surprise for fans.
And Ben Affleck is setting the record straight. Your Hollywood Buzz is coming up.
I can't wait to read this book. I can't wait. I'm glad somebody wrote a book about it.
The Milwaukee Brewers ballpark pup might be sleeping in this morning. He had a big night last night for his book release. So what can you expect from that book? New details when we come back.
Can't wait for that. And it is 4:49. Let's take a live look right here of that fire. It's breaking news. We've been following this morning and happening right now. This is the scene at 24th and Mineral. Firefighters battling to extinguish the flames on Milwaukee's south side right now. More breaking news coverage is coming up. You're watching the CBS 58 Morning News.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the CBS 58 Morning News on this Friday morning. Finally Friday, 4:51, bright and early. Look at this fog out in Waukesha. You can see it here looking from the rooftop of Steinhoffels down on the parking lot. So keep that in mind. That could impact the morning drive. We'll check those visibilities for you throughout the morning. Right now, temperature of 50 degrees, warmer than we've been all week at this time. However, as we go throughout the morning, I think that fog is going to become a little bit more widespread and dense. So again, maybe a little bit slower than that normal morning drive, at least early this morning. We're going to see it burn away, though, to mostly sunny skies pretty quickly. 57 in Milwaukee, Racine, 59 to 46 currently in West Bend. So our day planner for today, we're going to see temperatures climbing through the 60s and into the low 70s with sunny to partly cloudy skies overall today. Looking like a beautiful day once we burn away some of that morning fog. Tonight, a chance for a few thunder showers and then a few scattered storms possible on Saturday, but still warm temperatures about 75 to 80 degrees. Sunday, then 70, partly cloudy. And then look at this beautiful stretch of weather heading working our way through next week. Temperatures are in the 60s, about 65 to 70 with mostly sunny skies Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, partly cloudy skies. Looking ahead through next weekend, temperatures are looking really nice. Highs 70 to 75 degrees right through next weekend with plenty of sunshine. So over the next 10 days, our best chances for some rain tonight and tomorrow. Hey guys, check this out. NASA says its latest Mars exploring spacecraft is on track to fire up its thrusters and enter the planet's orbit on this Sunday night. It took NASA's Maven craft 10 months and 442 million miles to get to Mars. The craft will help scientists figure out how ancient Mars changed so dramatically into the planet that we know today. It'll be the first mission devoted to studying the upper Martian atmosphere as a key to understanding the history of Mars's climate, water, and get this, habitability. So yes, whether or not it was habitated at one point in time.
Well, always interesting to learn more, isn't it?
It sure is. Always exploring.
Yeah, and it's interesting to find out about, if there's water on Mars and where that water is. I know that's been a big focus of scientists over the years. They have found water in certain places in the polar caps and that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
that's
frozen.
what you need for life.
Well, exactly.
Right.
The building blocks.
Yep. Thank you very much, Lance.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Lance. 4:53 right now. The book Hank the Ballpark Pup is now on store shelves.
The new children's book tells the amazing story of how Hank the dog went from being a stray to a star with the Milwaukee Brewers. CBS 58's Josh Landon was at the book release at Miller Park, where hundreds were lined up to meet the popular pup.
The first 75 people in line at the Brewers team store today at Miller Park lucked out big time. They got a free copy of the new children's book, had it signed by the author, and got a snapshot with Hank the dog.
I think he has a universal appeal. He's just as cute as can be. And who doesn't love dogs?
In the book, you will learn more about Hank's journey when the Brewers spotted him wandering the streets outside their training facility earlier this year in Arizona. He was very weak with a tire mark over his body. It appeared he had been hit by a car.
I read a small article about Hank, and I was so inspired by this story. And I love dogs so much, and I just love the way he captured the hearts of the people of Milwaukee and the Brewers fans.
He had a really tough beginning walking around in Arizona, so I think it's really, really special to him.
One thing led to another. The team, of course, fell in love with Hank, and now he's a healthy mascot for the Brewers.
I can't wait to read this book. I can't wait. I'm glad somebody wrote a book about it.
If you want to know more about Hank's journey in this 40-page book, well, you'll have to read it for yourself. Josh Landon, CBS 58 News.
And you should also keep in mind 20% of the book's profits and other Hank the Dog merchandise go to the Humane Society and other charities.
We are covering breaking news right now, 5 minutes before 5 o'clock. Take a look at these flames just shooting from the top of a building on Milwaukee's south side. CBS 58's Matt Doyle is live there at the scene. He will have an update for us in just a minute. He did tweet out within the last couple of minutes that firefighters have stopped putting water on the roof. And as you can see from this live shot, that is indeed the case right there. You can see the fire trucks as we pull on out here to get a better view of the entire building. But huge flames. You know, when the firefighters stop putting water on a certain spot, it's gone very far. So we'll have an update on this in just a couple of minutes. If you don't like to be bugged by salespeople, you'll really enjoy a new store that just opened.
You won't find any salespeople inside. CBS 58's Sashel Saunders reports from Greenfield.
It's the most private grand opening you'll ever hear about. No salespeople, just you, a room, and a few beds.
They don't need a salesperson staying over top of them, telling them what they want or bugging them.
Haslett says they're changing how people shop. It's the first of its kind mattress store in the Milwaukee area. People can simply come in and browse and use the phone, web, or a kiosk to order, with absolutely no one else inside but other customers. The biggest point that they wanted to drive home is that this is a no-pressure experience. So take as long as you want, try out as much as you want, and boy, did we try out a lot of beds. Plush, medium, firm mattresses, we touched and jumped and got cozy enough, but then an eerie feeling set in. We're alone, in a store, no one watching. Is this safe?
It's dangerous and kind of scary.
Customers were split about the concept, saying they might visit for kicks but weren't sure it's the best idea. Owner Weston Huth says though unmanned, the place is very secure.
We have security cameras in our locations so we can monitor it. If anybody does do anything bad, we've got them on camera.
And only time will tell if this new way will work. But until then, they say take all the time you need until closing.
If you do fall asleep, I will have to wake you up and kick you out before after hours once we lock the doors.
In Greenfield, Sashel Saunders, CBS 58 Morning News.
He'd be like, your time is up. Well, the stores are open from 7 in the morning until 9 at night. There are 4 new locations. They're posted on our website right there inside of the story. Just go to CBS58.com.
Interesting concept. It is just before 5 a.m. now, and we are following several big stories for you this morning.
A meeting about body cameras for Milwaukee police gets overshadowed by supporters of Dontre Hamilton. We'll show you what happened.
And many Wisconsinites are concerned about the short time up to voter ID, but not Governor Walker. And here's why. We'll tell you why coming up.
And we continue to follow breaking news on Milwaukee's south side. A big fire at this large building. You can see crews working right now and flames shooting from the top of the roof. Matt Doyle has an update in just a minute.
The CBS 58 Morning News starts now.